It's not about having fun today, it's about making money. I really need to lock in. I'm trying to be the sole provider for my family. If I fail, my wife has to go back to work. Her time is infinitely more valuable at home than it is at a job. That's why I need to win. If I can build my bankroll to $100,000, the sky's the limit. It's kind of counterproductive to think that high because it feels so unrealistic. Any step closer to $25,000 is success. It's gonna take time, and that's all I need to do is keep putting in the reps, and I'm gonna share with you the journey along the way. On my way here, I was like, oh, I don't have chapstick, but I'm not buying another one. My life is just really difficult right now. I think it's just a phase because my kids are turning 2 and 4. I don't know if that's the reason why everything else is so chaotic. The relationship with the wife is not great. Work is difficult. I'm trying to figure out how we can get ahead financially and also not neglect my family. It's not easy. I never mean for these discussions to get so dark, but that's just what's going on in my mind right now. I like spending time to talk to you because it's good to talk this out and also get my mind right before a session. I gotta get chapstick. This is gonna be a normal routine. Be right back. Now, the great thing about Burt's Bees is that it's all natural. It's got vitamin E and peppermint. With all the plastics and the fake stuff, why would you choose anything else? Burt's Bees. Not a sponsor, but you could be. Let's get over to Chase's. My goal is to make $25,000. $25K today. Today! That would be a heater of a lifetime. Hey, technically it is possible. I believe I could definitely walk out of here with a few grand in profit. I'm not chasing losses from last time. Today is a new day. Today is a new day, brother. Are you ready to roll? I don't know if I am yet. Let's remind ourselves of the goals today. Make good decisions. Pay attention to the information people give me for free, as well as the information I have to pay for. And don't do anything stupid. And hopefully, make a step toward our $25,000 bankroll. Let's go. All right, 500 red, please. I pick up a few small pairs early and miss, so I add on for 50 bucks. This will be the last time I add on tonight. A few minutes later, I get involved in a decent sized bomb pot. I flop top pair on both boards and have a flush draw to go with one. We pick up the action on the turn. I'm expecting to win at least one of these, but then I table my hand. He picks up his cards, looks at the board, and back at his cards. Then mucks. Let's go. I'm up to about 800, but there's 3 other players with over 1,000. This game's gonna be crazy. We're able to do some real damage to the other big stacks, but we also have close to 15% of our bankroll on the table. Not ideal. About 40 minutes later, Under the Gun raises to 15. I'm next to act and look down at the most controversial hand in poker, pocket jacks. Now, I've read all the poker books, and there's actually no correct way to play them. I decide to treat them more like nines and just call. Another player calls behind, then the small blind makes it 35. The original raiser folds. What? Now it just feels like I'm in a simulation. I could back raise, but I don't want to overplay my hand. I've got position on the aggressor and only one other opponent behind me, so I make a questionable call. As expected, the player behind joins the party. We go 3 ways to the flop of 8-6-4 rainbow. The small blind fires out 65. The problem with jacks on a low board in a 3-bet pot is you never really know if you're good. We're plenty deep, so I proceed with caution and call. The third player seems to have a piece of this flop, and he calls too. Turn is another low card, and the small blind bets 80. This bet reeks of weakness. He's just betting again because he feels obligated to. Kind of like when someone at work asks how you're doing. You know they don't mean it, but you still play along. I raise to 200. Kind of as a bluff, but kind of not. We're all really deep, and this is not a spot I want to be getting all my money in, but calling just opens the door for the player behind me, and to be honest, he's the one I'm more worried about. I wouldn't expect him to have too many straight or 2 pair combos, but playing low stakes is a lot like renovating a 100-year-old home. You think you're going to just do some floors and paint, and the next thing you know, you're repairing 4 floor joists that a plumber decided to cut through back in 1983. He gets out of the way, and it's back to Mr. Obligated. He tanks for about 30 seconds, probably just to save face, and lets it go. This hand played out about as well as it could have. Turns out those floor joists weren't load bearing after all. 5 minutes later, I pick up a tell and get an opportunity to put it to use. I trust it and call down 3 streets with second pair. Just call me Roaring Kitty, because my diamond hands pay off. My stack is up to 1,300 now, about 20% of my entire bankroll. Don't try this at home. 20 minutes later, we get into a battle with a player that I'll call Dan. There's an early position limp, and my King 10 suited qualifies for a raise. I make it 18. We get 3 callers, and the flop comes 3-3-3. When it checks to me, I bet small for 15. It folds to the small blind, who makes it 45. The other player folds, and you know I love these spots. I call. Turn is a 7, and he bets 90. My mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I reach for chips, but then I remember, I only have king high, and I don't need to win every pot. Sometimes I need to keep my ego in check, because while he may not have a 3, he might just have a hand that he doesn't want to fold the river. I make a disciplined laydown. Then, he shows the ace-4 offsuit. Looks like we're going to war tonight. Over the next hour, I make a few big hands and get to showdown in a couple of them. I drill the nuts on the turn with 5-8 offsuit and still get paid on the river when the front door flush comes in. I flop a set in a bomb pot and get it all in 4 ways and win half.
House and a house.
Then I smash the nut flush and my opponent calls a big raise on the turn. Unfortunately, the river comes another heart, so we don't get the rest, but still a good pot. Then we get this hand. There's an early position limp, and I'm in mid position with Queen Jack. Fun fact, I think I've had this hand every single vlog. I raise to 18. Dan in the small blind makes it 50. The limper folds, and I'm ready for round 2. I call. The flop comes Jack 10-5, all diamonds. He checks. I've got top pair and a strong flush draw, with the added incentive of revenge. But with how deep we are, I do need to be careful. If I bet and get raised, my great situation suddenly turns not so great, and with our history, I'll be inclined to call down. I check back for pot control. Turn is the queen of clubs, which I'm happy to see, but also ace-king is going to be in his range while it's not as much in mine because of the pre-flop action. Even though it's a scary card, when he checks, it's time to start getting value. I bet 60. He calls. River is the ace of hearts, one of the cards I really don't want to see. Now I'm just praying he checks so I can check back. He doesn't. He leads out for 200. What can I beat now? It's kind of strange for him to bet this size with a king and 3 diamonds on board, but a lot of the hands that check twice and call a turn bet improve to a better hand than mine on the river. I can't think of any hands I beat at this point, so I fold. He proudly rolls over the 9-4 of clubs, and he's up 2-0 on me now. It's a small blow to my confidence, but deep stack poker is a marathon, not a sprint. If you've ever read The Frog in the Bog, I'm the half-sunk log, waiting patiently for Dan to take one more bite. 45 minutes later, early position raises to 20. I'm in early position and look down at 7-8 suited. At this table, with stacks so deep, I make the call. Dan wakes up from the small blind and makes it 50. The original raiser folds. Again. How does this keep happening? It's only 30 more, and I'm ready to go all 12 rounds with Dan if I need to. I call. The dealer puts out the flop, and I'm getting deja vu because it comes all diamonds again. This time, Dan leads into us. He bets 75. Even though I have a flush, I do need to be careful having 1100 behind. I don't want to blow up the pot quite yet, and most of my range is going to want to call this flop, so I want to have some strong hands in that range as well. I call. Turn is the 9 of hearts, and he does not slow down. He bets 150 this time. With his bet sizing, I don't think he has a better flush, as I think he'd be inclined to go larger on the turn, trying to set up a river shove. So now, it's decision time. I can choose to play it cautiously and call again, or go for the throat. I raise it up to 450. It doesn't seem like Dan was ever planning to fold. He calls. The river falls. I haven't seen it yet because my gaze is locked on Dan. It's the Jack of Diamonds. He's staring back at me. He looks at the board, and then at his stack. And then he checks. Can I get value from worse? Can I get better to fold? I think the answer to both of those questions is no. So I check back. He shows pocket kings, 1 black and 1 red. But it's the king of hearts. I table my flush, and the dealer ships a mountain of chips our way. Still feeling that adrenaline, 10 minutes later we stack someone with ace-king and add another 300 to our stack. 10 minutes after that, I fire a triple barrel bluff with queen 10 and get it through. I've got over 30% of my bankroll on the table at this point. It's the biggest stack I've ever had at 1-3. But we're not done yet. Believe it or not, it's bomb pot time again. I got 7-6 offsuit and flop top 2 pair up top and second pair down low. From early position, I lead out for 25. A short stack rips it all in for 68, and then Dan goes all in for 575. Is this the final round? It's back to me, and holy moly. I've got 40 invested and need to put in another 535 to find out. Look, I'm no double board bomb pot guru, but here's my logic. I've got 2 pair and second pair. It's rare that I'm being scooped right now. Pocket 5s is the only one that currently does. But so many hands virtually free roll me or have huge equity. 8-4, 8-9, 3-4, 6-8, even ace-7 and ace-8 do better on both boards. I know it's common for people to overvalue hands in bomb pots, but I think calling here would be overvaluing mine. So I fold. The short stack flips over 3-4 for a straight, and Dan shows 5-6, one of the only hands I had crushed. This might look like a missed opportunity, but I still stand behind my decision in this one. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I've got some reads on the player to my right, and he comes in for 10 from late position. I'm in later position and bump it to 40. It gets back to him and he calls. The flop comes 10-5 deuce, and he leads into me for 35. This feels like a small pair. I've only got a pretty optimistic backdoor straight draw, but I've got 2 hearts in my hand and 1 in my chest. I raise to 100. He thinks for 20 or 30 seconds and eventually calls. Turn is the queen of diamonds. He's got about 250 left and checks. I can either give up or trust my read. A bluff like this is so high risk because if he calls, I'm probably drawing dead. He counts out his chips and thinks it over. And finally, he folds, slapping the table in frustration on his way out. Not too hard, just enough to let me know I ruined his evening. 20 minutes later, he makes his final stand against us and ships his last 250 in the middle with pocket 7s pre-flop. He flops a 7 and I stand no chance. The very next hand, he raises to 17 from early position. I look down at queen 9 suited. Normally, I wouldn't be calling an under the gun raise with queen 9, but after 5 hours, I've got a pretty good idea on what I can get away with and who I want to be playing pots with. I call. The small blind 3-bets to 60. For the third time today, the original raiser folds. The 3-better has about 750 behind, plenty enough to warrant a call here. This flop might just be from Amazon because it's just what I ordered. Queen 9-6 rainbow. It gets even better when he leads into us for 80. This is the same opponent I had jacks against earlier, where he folded to my turn raise after betting 80. I've been super active lately, and coupled with the fact that he never saw my hand earlier, I think he may be willing to battle. I want to get his whole stack in by the river, so I raise to 200, just like before. It must be Cyber Monday because he shoves all in for 750. I snap call, and he leaves his cards a mystery. The board runs out, a backdoor flush comes in, and I don't love seeing the ace, but there's nothing we can do now. I table my hand, and he starts to turn over his to show me the winner. He shows ace-king. 1 pair, no flush. I gotta do a double take just to make sure. Yep, checks out, and so does he. Seat open! It's been a long session, and Dan and I have some history. He'd probably win by decision at this point, but it's not over, and we're about to settle things. I'm in early position and look down at pocket aces. I make it 15. The button calls and Dan wakes up in the small blind. He makes it 30? That's a weird raise size. I bump it up to 95. The button gets out of the way, and before the dealer can even pull in his cards,
6 raise.
call.
And a call? Oh! And a call. Your pair is bigger than my pair.
I don't know what he's got, but dealer, please hold. I don't like seeing all these middling cards out there, but it's better that there's 2 of each. The dealer flips the river out, and you can tell he knows what he's just done. But Dan, tables pocket 5s, and aces are good.
Kevin, just send me a picture of his stack.
Oh, honestly.
Holy shit. He's gonna need 6 racks.
Corey, can you imagine if he didn't play tonight?
He wasn't even gonna play.
Look at this picture that he sent me. This is ridiculous.
Fuck yeah, dude! That's definitely the most I've ever won in a cash game. I've always only played tournaments for a lot of money. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm speechless. That was so fun. I wish I could do it again. In for 550, out for 38.48. Holy shit, I almost just doubled my bankroll in one night. See, you don't have to spin it on roulette to double your bankroll. I still cannot believe it. The crazy thing is, it's only 3K. It's not that much money. It's not life-changing money, but it feels like life-changing money. So many things in my life are so high stress right now, and I needed a night that was a fucking win. And tonight was a fucking win. This is just the fucking beginning. Let's fucking go, baby. Woo! Probably not including that one.